Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe logo in her eye. And as you know, Kobe's nickname was the Black Mamba. I just felt like across the board, this commercial was a 10 for 10. And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should.
This was meant to be just another Nike drop. Instead, it became a statement that caught everyone sleeping. One person, one commercial, and suddenly the numbers look impossible. Not just good, impossible. While fans go crazy and executives celebrate, A'ja Wilson's watching her moment slip away in real time. How did this blindside everyone? And why does it feel like everything just changed overnight?
Caitlin Clark is going viral again for the new Nike commercial. The shoes are finally coming out. Finally, I'm trying to figure out what took so long. I really don't know what took so long for y'all to start this rollout. But hey, it's finally here. Let's get into what Nike posted for Caitlin Clark. Here it says, Caitlin Clark's anticipated Nike signature shoe is expected to launch in spring 2020.
Nike woke up, scrolled through their data, and apparently decided that controlled chaos beats playing it safe. Because one Caitlin Clark commercial just nuked the entire sneaker game. Like someone hit the nuclear option on their marketing dashboard and walked away whistling.
If you are looking for virality, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think we're looking at Caitlin Clark's ad being one of the more viral things we've seen in a long time. Like if you look at the Instagram post on Nike, as far as I'm aware, the Instagram...
This ad didn't politely knock or wait for permission. It kicked down every door on social media, crashed through group chats, broke resale sites, and sent corporate spreadsheets into complete meltdown mode.
The WNBA, and Caitlin Clark has she transcended even that. She's in a whole different stratosphere. This is Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Elizabeth Clark. Call her, yeah, CEC, Caitlin Elizabeth Clark, man. This is who she is, bro.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can. And then you got the New Heights podcast, bro. Like Caitlin just putting more money in their pockets. Like just shout out to Caitlin. Like I said, man, the way you play basketball is kind of how I look at you in real life. And
within hours, millions of eyes were glued to screens. Headlines started generating themselves, and sneaker websites barely survived the tsunami of traffic before getting cleaned out like a hurricane hit the warehouse. This wasn't just another athlete looking pretty in slow motion. This was Nike finally confessing that some people just have that magnetic pull, and Caitlin Clark happens to be a walking gravitational force. While everyone else was frantically refreshing sold-out pages and doing resale math, A'ja Wilson was dealing with something much quieter, watching her carefully built empire get overshadowed, while someone else casually stole the entire spotlight. This wasn't gradual or diplomatic or spread out over months. It was immediate, public, and had the kind of brutal finality that makes brand managers wake up in cold sweat. Clark didn't just own the conversation on the court. She decided to completely take over the sneaker world too, and pulled it off without even having her own signature model. That fact alone should be illegal in marketing textbooks. But here we are living in this reality. This wasn't about throwing shade at previous champions or erasing what came before. This was just acknowledging that star power doesn't wait in line, and Caitlin Clark doesn't need permission to completely hijack entire market categories.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
Yeah, she can't make it from there. No chance.
Caitlin, come.
So right here, you see kids.
Yeah, she can't make it from there.
Look.
Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
You got a bunch of kids asking Caitlin Clark, how about from here? Basically, I guess insinuating this is the younger generation, how she even influences boys, not just girls. Do you know how crazy it is that a woman basketball player is impacting boys basketball when there's...
The timing gets even more twisted when you remember that Nike had completely bet the house on A'ja Wilson. Her signature model, the Nike A1, dropped with all the fanfare and strategy that usually locks down long-term success. That first pink colorway disappeared faster than concert tickets, instantly doubling in value and turning a reasonable price into a collector's gold rush that screamed victory. For one beautiful moment, Wilson looked completely untouchable in WNBA marketing. Perfectly positioned where talent, personality, and brand magic intersected, Nike didn't half-step on this investment. They gave Wilson 2 solid years as the creative director of her own brand universe. She influenced every decision, approved every detail, and molded that shoe into her personal statement piece. Media coverage flowed, fans rocked the kicks courtside, and Wilson owned her spot as the league's commercial centerpiece. Then something weird started happening. The momentum began to fade, buzz started dying down, and all that energy just wandered off like it found something more interesting. The A1 didn't crash and burn. It just stopped growing. And in sneaker culture, hitting a plateau feels worse than completely failing.
Caitlin Clark was pretty cool. Did you check it out? I already posted it. Check out my page. But I'm glad that Caitlin Clark is finally getting her brand being pushed out. It just seemed like they kept holding her brand back for whatever reasons, but I'm kind of glad it's no longer being delayed. It's going to be full throttle in 2026, and her signature shoes coming out in 2026, and I can't wait. I hope it looks nice though. You know what? But I'm such a fan. I don't care if they're ugly. I'm still going to buy them.
That timing was absolutely devastating, because right when Wilson's wave started leveling off, Nike decided to drop Caitlin Clark into the marketing mix like a scientific experiment that immediately broke containment. This wasn't some carefully orchestrated comparison or smooth handoff. This was a complete narrative takeover that made everything before feel instantly ancient. Clark's campaign hit with viral force, algorithm support, and audience response that consumed all available attention. What Wilson had built suddenly felt temporary, and the contract had expired without anybody signing the renewal. The most insane part of this whole mess is that Clark accomplished this destruction without even releasing her own sneaker. Nike just put her in a custom Kobe 5 Pro PE and watched society collectively lose its mind. The colorway description alone sounded like luxury jewelry specs, mixing midnight navy, bright crimson, and university gold. But the real magic happened in the storytelling. Resale markets immediately exploded prices to levels that felt less like shopping and more like paying ransom, jumping from under 200 to numbers that made credit cards cry. Meanwhile, Wilson's carefully designed signature line sat there patiently, slowly drifting toward discount bins like museum pieces from another lifetime.
Your roster features all-time greats, and I am incredibly proud to join some of the best athletes in the world. I'm excited to share a first look at what we've created together. Y'all should have did this. We're going into year 3. Y'all should have did this year 1. Year 1. Let's take a look at the ad.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there?
This situation would hurt regardless, but the background makes it absolutely brutal. Nike had already invested enormous resources, positioning Wilson as the league's next commercial foundation, building up her comeback story, and backing it with a reported deal that showed real commitment. The issue is that magnetic presence can't be manufactured. Some athletes just show up with it already welded to their DNA. Clark didn't need to be positioned or explained or sold because attention tracked her automatically, obsessively, and at massive scale. All the doubts about Clark's original endorsement vanished the second she hit professional courts and started warping viewership numbers in real time. Tickets moved, ratings climbed, and suddenly the supposed gamble looked more like an obvious correction. Clark's appeal was never confined to pro basketball. Her college run alone created economic waves that entire cities still discuss in amazed whispers. She didn't require elaborate campaigns or emotional narratives to shift markets. She just appeared, played ball, and let the data do all the talking. That effortlessness makes the difference even sharper because Wilson needed full marketing campaigns to maintain momentum, while Clark could drop one photo and trigger digital stampede.
That many things from, obviously, Nike. That many views with the Nike Caitlin Clark thing. So right now, if you're looking at the amount of views, I'm looking at Nike right here on my phone on Instagram. Caitlin Clark ad has 30.3 million views. Like, the only comparable view, anything view-wise, in the last... I'm just trying to think what has had more.
The really maddening thing about Caitlin Clark is she doesn't even seem that interested in all the spotlight she keeps accidentally stealing. She handles interviews with casual confidence, and lets her teammates joke about her humility like it's some running gag they all share. This complete lack of ego only makes her more magnetic, since people love excellence that doesn't need constant validation. Now picture being A'ja Wilson, watching this develop after years of checking every box according to the established playbook. This underlying tension isn't brand new and didn't just materialize randomly. Wilson had previously questioned the machinery behind Clark's meteoric rise, hinting that certain advantages helped shape public perception. Those observations now feel uncomfortably prophetic against a landscape where Clark's impact isn't theoretical anymore. It's measured in sales reports, rating spikes, and completely empty inventory. Watching someone you once doubted become the commercial face of your entire league's future isn't exactly a comfortable experience.
In incredibly surprising news, Nike has decided to push the button on Caitlin Clark in a way that I think represents an increase from anything that they've done thus far. We've, followed on the channel for quite a while about the lack of promotion, the lack of merchandise, the lack of everything kind of for, Nike support of, presumably their most valuable athlete right now.
Here's the thing. The absurdity reaches peak levels when you step back and look at the whole league picture. Viewership for other major matchups consistently falls short of even Clark's weakest performing games, creating statistical gaps that feel almost comical. Skilled teams, incredible performances, and gorgeous basketball somehow fail to generate comparable numbers, while Clark's mere presence guarantees attention at unreachable levels. It becomes crystal clear that interest isn't distributed evenly, and pretending it is doesn't change the actual math. Nike's eventual full embrace of Clark feels less like playing favorites and more like basic business survival. When one player consistently outdraws entire rosters of competition, ignoring that reality becomes corporate suicide. Wilson stays an incredible athlete with elite credentials, but Clark represents something rare and more unpredictable. She's not just playing basketball, she's rewriting demand equations with disturbing efficiency.
Let's get back to Nike though. I gotta ask some questions because I'm such a huge sneaker fan. You said that you're wearing the new kicks coming up this season.
Yeah.
I honestly, for everyone that doesn't know like the process that goes into like making the sneakers, like how long in advance has it been, or like when does it all start? Do they come to you with a shoe, a bunch of shoes? Do you kind of get to tweak them here and there? How is that process?
Yeah, I think it's honestly been like probably one of the coolest.
Ultimately, this isn't really about rivalry so much as it's about what actually drives culture in the moment. Nike didn't anoint Clark because of feelings or drama. They followed the data screaming from every corner of the marketplace. The harsh reality is that audiences make these decisions way before boardrooms figure it out, and Caitlin Clark got elected by popular demand long ago. The empty sneaker displays told this story before anyone else caught on, and they told it loudly, completely, and without any mercy. That's where the real uncomfortable truth lives. Because this narrative stopped being about marketing mistakes or bad timing. It's about how ruthlessly honest modern attention economics have become. Caitlin Clark didn't deliberately replace anybody through scheming or hostility. She just filled space so completely that everything else had to reorganize around her, whether it wanted to or not. Nike's strategic shift now seems unavoidable, rather than reactive, since the numbers eliminated any room for emotional debate.
The Caitlin Clark, Kobe Bryant, Indiana Fever 5 collaborations that are coming out. These were player exclusive shoes, and I saw a lot of hemming and hawing about, Caitlin's bigger than this. She's like, why are they doing Kobe Bryant shoes and all that? From, some people. Other people were excited about it. Like, what this represents is like Nike tying her with an already kind of iconic basketball brand, which is like their, one of their biggest brands that they have, and then rolling that into what will be her shoe later in the year.
When one player can single-handedly outperform entire television schedules in viewership and merchandise speed, companies stop worrying about ethics and start focusing on logistics. How quickly can we expand? How deep can we invest, and how do we guarantee we never miss this again? That transformation isn't meant to be personal, but it definitely feels personal to anyone watching from the sidelines, especially players who played by every rule and still watch the spotlight drift away. What makes this hurt worse is that Clark's dominance doesn't involve trash talk or showboating. She doesn't lobby for attention or position herself as the sport's chosen one. She lets her game do the communicating. That composure reads as authentic confidence rather than fake modesty, and people respond to it automatically. This isn't an attack on talent throughout the league, but proof that skill alone doesn't guarantee cultural explosion. Nike's pivot isn't the ending of this story. It's recognition of a new reality. Caitlin Clark isn't an up-and-coming prospect or risky investment anymore. She's the measuring stick. Everyone else, no matter their achievements or reputation, gets compared to her magnetic force now. And that's a brutal position when the shelves stay empty. The data speaks loudly. and the public already voted.
I feel like in the past month or so, they had been tweeting about Caitlyn more, and then obviously with the shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlyn Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe. I also heard that Nike stock.
The real question isn't whether Caitlyn Clark has made it, since that argument died when websites crashed and real values went insane. But what happens when an entire industry starts revolving around one person? History proves that leagues usually struggle with moments like this as they happen, spending too much time reacting to chaos instead of figuring out what's actually driving it. Attention, once captured this thoroughly, doesn't politely share itself around, and it definitely doesn't ask nicely before rearranging priorities that seemed permanent. The response matters, since situations like this either lift entire sports to new heights or reveal how shaky the foundation really was underneath. For A'ja Wilson and everyone else processing this shift, the challenge isn't about getting the spotlight back, but figuring out how to stay relevant in a world that moved without warning. Being great is still necessary, but it's not enough by itself anymore, and that truth demands some difficult soul-searching at every level of the game.